been at this level, man. I mean, they were playing like shit, but this has been their level. There's just a lot of stuff that happens in Mex, and I feel a lot of people ate the Kool Aid, and you can see it on Twitter right now already with the Lamborghini and all the ball washing going on so soon,
It's crazy,
and
man.
and it's like, dude, come on, we keep us fans keep making the same mistake of like believing things are worse than they are and then better than they are. You know what I mean?
We live in two extremes, man.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, but yeah, this Honduras they've been pretty trash for a while. But I think every team needs a slump buster, man, and they they were the timing was perfect.
Exactly, bro. It's like you get Jimmy, who wanted the job from the get go, right? He didn't want to be considered a assistant. He wanted the full reins. They said no. They went with Coca, and now he's like, hey man, I know we denied you earlier, but this guy's shit, you know. And he comes in and look, bro, like they had that speech with Juan Carlos, whatever his name, the bald headed dude, and he just reprimanded everybody, and then they're like, "Oh, we don't normally do this. This is normally not broadcasted, but we're gonna broadcast this internal meeting that we're having with the players." And like Jimmy's like, "Oh, yeah, I have something to say," and he like goes on this speech. I'm like, "Come on, dude, this shit was all rehearsed, man." Like
Yeah, dude, it
that.
was.
And look, man, like it's so pathetic how easily the opinion can be swayed, bro. Because all he did was have that little speech that I'm sure ChatGPT wrote for him. He rehearsed it all nights, and then he woke up the next morning, and they gave him the jacket, and all of a sudden,
What's the prompt?
everybody was bitching and complaining, and the players suck, and then all of a sudden, Jimmy comes in, he gets a 4-0 win over Honduras, and now it's like, oh, let's do it. We're the best in the
How,
world. It's like,
how many,
yo,
what's the prompt for the Chat GPT?
I don't know,
What,
dude.
like, how do you convince Mex fans? How do you tickle their ass
You're
and,
like,
and make
Chat
them feel good
GPT.
again?
I just took over a sinking submarine. How do I motivate my people?
I don't see this again. I don't think it was sinking either. This Coca had 7 games, just one defeat, and of course it was against the U.S. And of course the team looked bad, but it was one defeat out of 7 games. I think even if he would have stayed, he would have won. He would have won this cup.
Yeah,
And like, dude, what he did with Atlas, pretty epic. And now everyone's saying he sucks.
yeah.
It's like, seriously, dude. I, uh, I think they didn't back him up. This guy, to me, they set him up to fail. No one had his back when shit hit the fan. Usually, you'll have one of the top federativos come out and say, we got this guy's back. If you had seleccionados saying they're going to boycott, all right, get the fuck on, bring in other players. But none of that happened. And I'm still trying to piece it together there, Jaime. There's something going on
Fishy.
over there in FMF because we saw a lot of movements. We saw Yon De Luisa leave, right? He was supposed to do the whole World Cup. He was gonna give like right after the World Cup. He said we're gonna do like an analysis in 60 days, but it ended up being longer than that.
Yeah.
Um, and then they formed a national team committee, and then aside from the committee, they have how does the Praga? I forgot what position he had, president or something like that. And then they appoint Coca, and then dude gets that. Not only does, but see before and then after that, Yon De Luisa leaves. He steps off, right? He decides to leave the FMF.
Yeah.
Uh, and then there was like the rumors that he was like in charge, right? Perhaps not like like on the papers, but like behind the scenes. And then, all this thing happens. They put another guy there. You just mentioned him. Keep forgetting his name too. Jaime.
It's like Juan
Or Jerry
Carlos something.
well, he sacks Ares de Parga and Coca. So he comes in and he sacks those two guys. And the rumor is that he didn't even consult with the national team committee, right? Which is the Irarragorri, um, Vergara, the Hank, the dude from Cholos, um, and I'm missing like one or two. No matter, but suppose he didn't even ask him what's going on here, what's our move, and does a thing where they all of them look bad because they were the committee and they voted for cocaine. So it just like, all right, what the fuck went on? Well, something happened. There must have been some major disagreement. Something happened, man, and it sucks for Coca. They pretty much left him out to dry. But
Yeah.
Selección, Jaime, are they back or are they just playing like the way they know how to play?
Honestly, I think it just takes this is gonna be a terrible analogy, but like you take one girl and two dudes banger, right? One of them just doesn't know how to make her come, dude.
Oh,
And Jimmy,
damn.
he's familiarized with this team because he knows them from a long time ago, right? This is most of the players are from the Olympics. He's already gotten a lot of performances out of them. They know him. They're comfortable with him, and I don't know if Coca rubbed people the wrong way from day one, but it just seems like the team really just turned their back on him and said, let's get this guy out of here. And
Yeah.
everybody is backing Jimmy, bro. Like everyone's happy that he's Mexican. Everyone's happy that at Univision today, I almost had to mute it at times, bro. They're just like they're
That's Televisa,
they're doing too much, bro. They're like, oh yeah, everyone's familiar with him because he was like a legend with the national team. I'm like, this guy didn't even go to the World Cup, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he's like, oh, ganó dos títulos con Pumas. I'm like, bro, stop it, man. Like, he's Mexican. He's the flavor of the month. And I don't know who had to tell who, but I know this is coming from the top down. They said, hey, media, you guys got to back this guy, okay? Back him. And that's
exactly.
I feel like,
see that.
Yeah.
Well, keep point. You just said it. Did you ever see that for Coca?
No.
Dude, no one stood up for him. No one. And there was a whole committee, which that's what surprises me because, dude, that's all of them, a lot of the top people there. And he never got, and for me it was like, okay, we'll leave him to Coca, but then it's a weak Coca. We have to, it's a lot of the teams that went in, they send in their like B squads. A lot of teams aren't with their better players. So it's like a weak tournament where Mexico has the better spot and they're obviously obligated to win. And so I think, normally they would have let them finish the tournament and then they would have sacked them for whatever reasons. But I don't think they wanted. I do think so much negative press had been made that at that point it was like, it was going to affect attendance.
Yeah.
Because today, people turned out today. That place was full.
Yeah, and they had mentioned that, hey, look, before the fiasco that happened in Nations League, they did a really good job with the pre-sale for Gold Cup. So a lot of these people, they bought these tickets before everything happened and the whole turnover and whatever. So, I think today is a little bit misleading. But now, as a result of how the team performed and how the momentum is going in Jimmy's way and everyone's hopping on the Lambo Jimmy, I think that is going to be like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what might have not sold well for the next match, I think it's in Arizona, who knows?
Yeah,
Now
it
I
is.
think that's gonna have really good attendance, and it's a snowball effect. Now they're gonna come up to the Bay Area, they're gonna come to Levi's, and then that's gonna get packed. And I think like this is just like a snowball effect, momentum thing. And look, we're all on the same team here. I hope Jimmy does a phenomenal job, and I hope that they give him the permanent position if the team performs well, right?
Well, the guy Cisniega, and I forget his position, but he's the one that presented him, and he made it pretty clear he's just interim.
Yeah.
He mentioned it enough times so that and see that's the other thing. Are you gonna hand it to him because he wins like a week tournament? It's like winning Copa MX. Do you know what I mean? Do you give the selección to the coach that wins Copa MX?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I, I don't know if he will get this job permanently. And
I,
that's the thing, though. It's like, how can you support this guy and give him the backing, but at the same time also be like potentially interviewing
uh,
candidates or start looking for one, right? It's like,
well, they told him. I mean, they let him know like we need someone to take over. You know, it's emergency, and he was the best candidate for the situation. Like, you know, the Gold Cup's around the corner. You know, the majority of the players, but I mean, I don't think he's. I think they already have someone else lined up already.
I don't understand. Like, all right, you win 4-0 today. Let's say you have another favorable result against Haiti, and then Qatar, and then you end up winning this tournament undefeated with like a really good goal differential, and all the players are like playing well, scoring goal. I mean, today was a great start for Jimmy, right? Are you
Yeah,
really gonna be like, all right, man, thanks. We're gonna bring in Almada, or we're gonna bring in like somebody else? Like, you really think they would do him dirty like that?
yeah.
Jaime,
Again,
Jaime, you're a young man. They definitely would
yes.
do this guy dirty, man.
I don't think it's doing him dirty though. They're doing him a solid because he's gonna, you know, provided things go well, he wins silverware, and now he has one more thing for his cabinet aside from that third place medal, you know, and it's with the senior team now. And of course, he will eventually be considered again. But I think ultimately, your Mex, you're not looking to beat the Honduras's or even the US. You want to be able to beat the Brazils and the Argentinas and the Italy's. That's where the focus is at because they're not going to say it though. But so yeah, beating these teams, you know, it's kind of a given, especially when they're that weak. They're pretty weak, Jaime.
Yeah.
It's like you know, you're wrestling with your little brother, and it's you know, it's
I was saying earlier to you guys, man, that back in the day, I guess the 2018 cycle or whatever it was, everybody was talking about how Osorio faced such a terrible Honduras team during
uh,
qualifying because they were able to go in and beat them in
yeah.
Honduras. Man, that team looked like the Netherlands compared to Greece.
Yeah, and
They
dude,
were
you're going
bad.
that far. Yeah, and good point because you're going that far back. And dude, Honduras hasn't been at the level that they were at one point, where they had like players like Suazo, you know, and
Oh, that's
Pavon
further back.
Comer, and they had, I know, but they had some like Tyson Nunez. They had like, dude, I know these guys. Man. I shouldn't even know them, but but they were that good, you know, that
El
you
Rambo
know,
de Leon.
yeah, yeah, he was really good at free kicks. Well, why do I know this shit? I never followed his career, but I remember that
In
because we'll watch him play. We'll qualifiers and against Max. I can't name you one player right now, dude.
I
I don't know who
couldn't.
these
You
guys are.
know,
I
when I
saw
think
the guy
of
get wheeled out as Jerry Benston.
there's two
He was like
Hondureños that
40, dude.
there's two Hondureños that come to mind for me. Carlos Costly and obviously
Ah, yeah.
Carlos Pavon too.
Don't say
Yeah.
Carlos Presley to me, man. Come on.
Yeah. Really quickly because we
Wait,
have some
that's
new.
it?
Yeah, let me just do something real
What
quick.
was the Suazo guy? Because I'm confusing him with the Chileno.
Suazo
David,
is
David Suazo. David
No,
Suazo.
David. I'm going to go with Humberto, but David. He was in Italy and he played with Inter.
yeah.
And yeah,
Like a
him, dude,
truck
he's a
too, man.
beast. So yeah, he was a beast. Okay,
So
now.
real quick,
Right.
we do have some new listeners on the Cantina. So hey, look, we create this space for you guys. If you want to speak up, just request to speak. We'll put you on. The only thing we ask is you do have some kind of headset because the echo is disturbing. And then also we are simultaneously broadcasting on YouTube, and we already have some chat going on. Ricardo saying that this game was heavily promoted over here in Houston, even before they got boned by the U.S. The tickets were selling like crazy. And yeah, he also says, my drunk uncle's Sunday league team plays better defense than this Honduras team.
Hey, well, that Honduras team is that defense, man. They didn't let Santi Jimenez. I wanted him to get his goal in.
He
And that
did.
would have been a
It was
sweet
offside, though.
goal. I know that would have been a really sweet goal, but
What was that? Charlie who did the little flick?
It was a nice play, man. And that's
It
another
was,
thing
man.
too I can take away from this. Like, all right, regardless of like the situation at hand, you can't control your opponent. I will tell you this: the team looks a lot better. They look like they're having fun, and it feels like a different team. And I don't know if that's Jimmy. I don't know if that's the Jimmy effect.
I think it's one part Jimmy. The second part is there was some shit going on, dude. I've seen this. I've seen this story before, man.
My girlfriend said, "Hey, like, so you know how like they do like the tunnel shot before the game."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, why are they all like rubbing their nose?" I'm like, "They probably all just did lines before the fucking game, bro." Like, they were like Ochoa and all these players were just like rubbing, like they were rubbing their nose, bro. Like they looked like they were on some of that.
CONCACAF gave him the go ahead and said, "Hey, man, we're not gonna test anyone."
So Jaime, my thoughts on this is part of it is the Jimmy effect. The other part of it is it's a bad Honduras team, but the other thing is Jimmy's allowing them to play in a style that they probably enjoy a lot more.
Facts.
And so that's why they looked a little happier, a little more aggressive, less confused, less pianos on their back. But again, I definitely don't want to read too much into a win against any of the bad teams in the group stage, or quite frankly, I don't want to read too much into
Gold Cup,
into anything during the Gold Cup. Yeah, I mean, it's more of a like I'm okay with this being Jimmy's opportunity to get these guys to play in a good space. Build up confidence, and again, if whether it's him or another coach ends up creating their base off of these guys, then by all means, that's a great that's a hell of a job that Jimmy did, right? But
did you guys see the interview with Ojitos Mesa?
No,
I think it was Medrano. I think it was with Medrano, and he was giving the national team, and he said that when he took over, there was players that straight out told him not to call them up.
Yeah.
And so from the get-go, he had already players against him.
Yeah.
And I do think that happens. And a lot of times it's like their agents or their promoters, and it's this is obviously my opinion because I don't have a way to prove it. I base it off of comments, especially one coming from someone like Mesa that was, for a lot of years, and he's a very successful coach. And when he went to the national team, it was just a disaster. And you wouldn't think this is the guy that you could still go on YouTube and see the way Toluca and Toros Neza played under him, and that's some of the best football you will see, man. And it was a bit like if that would have been happening like now with the social media, dude, those teams would have been blowing up just because of the type of goals they were scored. And I think was it Toros Neza? They had like 3 or 4 back heels in a row. But anyways, and I do feel there's a bit of that where it's like, you know, they just set you up to fail, man.
Absolutely.
And I do feel that was a part of what was going on, and I just used, like, there was talk about how the selección was like complaining about Coca's training, that he was doing double training,
Oh yeah, the
and then
players
there
didn't
was
like
also,
that.
I mean, dude, come on, you're with the national team, but you're complaining over that, and the other one was like the distance, I think, and they were in Las Vegas, where the training field was too far. But I don't think that even falls on the coach. I don't think it matters at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, well, weren't they training in Henderson?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just heard that they didn't like the distance and
Because
the double training.
if they're being little pansies about training in Henderson, that's 15 minutes away from the stadium.
I heard 45. So, but maybe 45 from the outlets. So
That's
by the time we're done, the True Religion, whatever they're into, is closed.
they couldn't get good Ubers to the
They weren't.
strip, man.
They're upset that they were too far from the strip and they weren't able to go chopping.
Because I didn't see the pictures. You usually see pictures they're walking with them.
Typically,
With
they
a bunch
have
of
like
bags of-
their day off and they go and it's happened to the selección when they come up here to the Bay. They always take a day and go out to San Francisco and do the whole Bay shit. So it's like they were just mad about that. But hey, man, look, this team looks good. They got off to a great start with Luis Romo scoring in the first minute. Then on the 23rd, Orbelin had a lot of chances and he did not look the sharpest, but he finally got his goal in the second half. And then Luis Chavez puts the cherry on top, 4-0. And hey, look, USA didn't have the best start yesterday. They almost lost the game against Jamaica. They got lucky and drew the game at the 88th minute. So this is not the best U.S. team either that we're going to be facing, if we face them, if they even get that far. But I think from our end, dude, it's smooth sailing. You got the game against Haiti, who defeated Qatar today, and then you close out the group stage in the Bay Area against Qatar, who I don't even know they even had a national team after the World Cup. Like, what are you guys trying to like convince, bro? Like, no one cares about soccer. You guys had it. You had your time. They already disassembled. They already disassembled some of the stadiums, bro. Like
they did. Oh man, dude.
Go back to whatever the fuck you guys were doing before this. But just don't even bother, bro. Don't even bother.
Well, they have their own league, right? Is that where CR7 is playing?
No, he's in Saudi Arabia, man.
Who plays in Qatar League then?
It's not El Gullit.
Xavi used to coach there.
Where did Benzema go to?
He's also everyone's in Saudi Arabia now, dude.
Saudi Arabia, I keep confusing them.
Yeah.
Potato, man. See,
they're working on trying to get the 2030 bid.
Shit, might be too close. Might be too close, but I don't think there's that many countries right now that can host the World Cup, especially like how they have it now, like 40 plus teams. So they might just be able to do it. Qatar has money though, dude. I would think they would have put more in their league, but I'm pretty sure they'll figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys are you guys telling me that we should not get too comfortable with the Lamborghini, that they're gonna put an actual real coach in after the Gold Cup?
Real coach, Jaime, come on, the coach they wanted.
All right, so throw some names out there. Who would it be?
The two strongest names making the rounds, it's Nacho and Almada. That's sort of the main ones. I don't think there's a foreign coach coming in.
So here's my Joel. I think winning and again, this is stuff that we talked about putting a Band-Aid on things. I could see them letting Jimmy stay if he wins the Gold Cup because of the pressure from the press. But again, it's just one of those things. Whether we're playing some B teams and some other bad teams out here. There's no guarantee that the youth Mexico wins the cup. But if they win it, they didn't beat the best quality opponents, right? And
true.
but because the media will sell it as Jimmy the hero and this and that and the other, I could see them maybe giving him a shot. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, definitely you hear Nacho Cuadro and Almada a lot.
Yeah, well, this guy Cisniega was really hammering in the interim, like making it clear that he's interim. It's not. This is not a tryout. It's just you're just interim coach, while we bring in the coach we want.
I just shared some tweets from David Faikeson, and he says, "Hey, look, man, like we're already starting to sell the smoke. What Mexico achieved today is, against one of the worst versions of the Honduras national team that I remember."
Yeah,
And
that guy also sells smoke.
yeah, he also says what is interesting is what is the future of Mexico? Is he going to be our permanent coach or or is he going to be a coach in the near future? It's like we really don't know. I think that's the question everybody has right now. Really, is like, where do we go from here with Jimmy?
Well, check out what Faitelson is doing, right? So he acknowledges this is a really bad Honduras, right? But 4 years from now, when Mex is back at playing a World Cup qualifier, and Honduras has a better team, and Mex struggling to beat them, he's gonna bring up this result and say, he's gonna forget that it was the worst team, and then use that to attack the current team. These are, yeah.
We don't
man.
have look. All right. This is my argument with Jimmy Lozano. He has the easiest schedule to get to the World Cup, right? We don't have to qualify. We're already qualified. So he's not going to have to worry about World Cup qualifiers in CONCACAF. He has Gold
Cup. That
doesn't
make it easy, Jaime.
Look, he has Gold Cup with all these bums, all these tomato cans. Even the U.S. and Canada aren't bringing their best, okay? Then you have a Copa America that you're going to get invited to that's here in your backyard. And,
but you can...
and that gives you a lot of time, right? That gives you a lot of time.
What happened last Copa America, Jaime?
Yeah, we got our shit pushed in.
Dude, I think this is the thing, because it could be easy to, like, you're building a squad.
This is all I'm saying, Joel. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna give the reins to a young coach with no experience, this is the one to take that risk with, because there are no repercussions. We're already in the World Cup. That's all I'm saying.
Well, this guy does have experience, though. That's the thing. He does have it.
I think there's some validity to what Jaime is saying, just because, again, let's just say best case scenario for Jimmy. They keep him on, everything like that. He wins the Gold Cup. Copa America comes about and he makes, I don't know, say the quarterfinals, right? Right. That's better than we did last time, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets the World Cup, and Mexico gets back to the round of 16. Okay, all right, we're everybody will be like, oh, we're recovering from all that other BS.
I think they're making quinto partido, because it's 40-something teams.
Oh, crap, I forgot all about that.
And then they're a seeded team.
Right.
They're a seeded team, so there's high chance that they win the group, and then they end up with one of the weaker teams.
Are you saying there's a good chance they end up with the group they're playing at Gold Cup?
I know, right?
You can, dude. You can, but like substitute like IT for
China.
Like what South America's getting, like what, 7?
Bolivia.
Yeah, like.
But look at
or Ecuador. Mexico is beats or ties them.
So based on what you're saying, say they make that 5th partido, all of a sudden Jimmy's like the greatest guy in the world, right? Yeah. So there's validity to what Jaime is saying. They could risk this cycle, right? It could look cosmetically good, and then roll them into the next cycle.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like
it wouldn't be the worst way to get this guy's feet wet.
And look, I hate to use the comparison because there really is no comparison. But look at Scaloni, man. Like that dude didn't have a pedigree to be coaching Argentina, and he won the gold. He won the World Cup.
Yeah, but he's surrounded. He's got like
Yeah, he's got
he's
talent.
got like around. He's got a round table of coaches that
Yeah.
are like just,
But
dude, come on.
that's what I'm saying, though.
Throw
It's
those
like
guys over here, and
And that's
pretty much
another thing.
anyone we throw would do good. You put me. Anyone.
And that's the other thing I want to move away from, Hoyle, is the let's stop comparing to the Argentines, right? Let's stop with that and because again, that's one of the reasons the Mexico and the national team players end up disappointed, right? Because you're constantly trying to compare to Argentina, and we are not Argentina.
But look what they're doing now. They have like they have a bunch of coaches there too. Like
what I'm saying though is like that shattered. I think that shattered the whole expectations of like what national teams traditionally look for when they're hiring a coach, right? It's the guy that has a pedigree. They've coached Barcelona. They've coached. Now it's like, yo, we just proved to the rest of the world that we can do it with someone that really doesn't have.
Yeah, but he's not alone.
And
he's not alone.
Yeah, but I'm saying is like maybe with Mexico, it's like, dude, we got nothing to lose here. We're already in the next World Cup.
Wait, hold on. Not only he's not alone, he has he had in the squad one of the all-time best players of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? It's like we really can't compare squads or situations, but
pretty much every player there, dude. Argentina, the Argentine coach, you basically just hand out the jersey, and then he was like, "Here you go, dude. Do your thing."
We have some YouTube chat real quick. It says, yeah, Disco, yeah. Welcome back. Winning the Gold Cup means nothing. Why is there a real chance that we will have a 41-year-old goalkeeper as starter? Jimmy's only accomplishment is a youth tournament, for fuck's sake. And Bomba Man says, Mexico needs continuity. There hasn't been a project for more than 4 years.
No, yeah.
And Disco replied with, there hasn't been any project since La Volpe.
Well, even his got cut short, but even La Volpe, because La Volpe, people seem to remember a lot of the stuff he did. They sort of like, there's like a highlight reel, and they just remember some of the good times, and they forget some of the bad times. So he had said, I don't know if you guys remember going into the Olympics, he said, if I don't win bronze, I'm going to quit. And he gets eliminated in the group stage. But luckily, he had the directivos that actually backed him up. And ended up staying. And his group at the World Cup, remember, it wasn't like that difficult of a group. He had Angola, first time going to the World Cup. Their goalkeeper was like, I think, not even semi-pro, dude. You guys could check. And I think he was without a club. They had Angola, and then they had Saudi Arabia. So I mean, they ended up going to the second round, and as always, they lost. I know it looked good, Argentina, but I think Mex had like one shot on goal. Like you could see the attack. So I mean, it's perception, perception. The thing with La Volpe, and I like the guy. I think he's very he's very smart and knows his tactics. But if you see his proceso, he was never able to win a second round game outside of Mexico. So all the tournaments he played, he got eliminated. Second round. The only time he won was Gold Cup at Azteca, where he played all the games at Azteca. That was it. And so you kind of had that. With Osorio, I've heard that he was offered, and then that he wasn't. So I don't really know.
He confirmed it. Osorio confirmed that he was offered another 4 years,
and that he regretted, right? Not taking it.
Rejected it. He regretted it. Yeah.
Okay, so then we have that. So I think the Federativos and that's what should be also give some credit to them, because they held on to him even after that Gold Cup disaster. They held on to this guy and they let him finish his process. I think with La Volpe, because I don't think ultimately La Volpe met a lot of like the benchmarks that we were expecting them to meet. Um, you know, but team would look good in some of the games that they played. Copa America, I think, was the
Argentina.
yeah no was that Argentina the with Moncho Morales, right, free kick goal, and they
Yeah,
win.
that was Argentina.
And again, group stage,
Yeah, and then
Mexico then is but
Confederaciones with Brazil,
yeah
and they had a hell of a shootout with Germany in that tournament.
yeah yeah. So that it had those games where he looked really good, but in those clutch games that it mattered, was never able to win any. Um, and so I think that was kind of it. And so then
This is what
Tata,
Mexico needs, dude. And they need to be doing things that they haven't been doing this entire time. They need to and say they need to give the public assurance, right? We've had a lot of uncertainty, we've had a lot of like changes, and everyone's just fed up and says, "Yo, who's gonna be our guy?" Mexico needs to be like, Jimmy Lozano is gonna coach us not only for 2026 and for 2030 as well. We need the support and the backing of the fans and the federation and all that. He is gonna be our guy, and this is like take it or leave it, like love it or hate it. This is gonna be our guy for the next 2 World Cups. And if they had the balls to do that, that would change everything, bro. The way the media is doing their fucking daily stories and trying to sell headlines and who's gonna no, dude. You say this is our guy and that's it. Everyone fall in line, and I think that would be the game changer, and that's what we need.
yeah.
And correct. This is for like the YouTube commenters. Is that correct me if I'm wrong? But I think what Jaime said is what they're referring to as to a proceso. They want a long-term process, a long-term plan to see whether Mexico can take the next steps forward. And I don't know. I don't know what the honestly. I think my thought process is that what it's going to take is for the players to become pros. And by that meaning that they're going to need to treat this as their job, as their profession, right? Just like some of the players doing the MLB or the NFL or stuff like that. I mean, some of the important leagues out there in the world, they take this thing seriously. Our guys are going to have to do that, right? Because there's talented coaches in Mexico.
Yeah.
And again, you don't need Guardiola or whomever, right? You just need a coach that knows how to gel these guys together, and then they need to do their work like they're supposed to.
That's why I think the Scaloni comparison is fair, though, because you're saying like Scaloni had these coaches around him. You know, he has like the best player of all time, or whatever you want to say.
And a lot
But
of
that's
world
all it
class
comes
players.
down to, though. That's all it comes down to, having just a good leader that can keep a locker room together. Because it's not a club. It's not like you need a tactical genius like Guardiola. You don't have them day in, day out. That's why you see a lot of coaches that come in like a month before the World Cup starts as that fireman coach, and then they do great. They do well. They make their team out of the group stage. Maybe they go a little couple later rounds, because that's one national team. It's more about like everybody rowing the same way, and like the vibes being right, and the team, the group being behind you as the leader. And that's something you saw with Scaloni in Argentina. It's like you could say, oh, but he has all these coaches and all these things. Yeah, but that's also reason to disrespect him. Like you feel like he's not at the level of Simeone that you have back at the club. He's not the level of Guardiola. He's not the level of all these other coaches you have. But you didn't disrespect him. You actually fall behind in line with him, because the way he's bringing the group together. And if Jimmy Lozano can do that, just bring the group together and squash something like Johan, how he comes out to the media and has his issues, how Ochoa has his issues, how all these there's little clicks. If he can get rid of all those little clicks and put everybody on the same direction, that's all you need. How much tactical training are you going to do if you see these guys 4 or 5 times a year?
Yeah. Yeah, man, and 100% agree with you with that. Well, you should probably check out the YouTube comments, man. Your name's being thrown out there.
Wait, I'm getting dry.
You're getting dry, man. Ricardo says Joel with the excuses. Joel is
Wait, what excuse though?
just like the excuses. I don't know. And then Ricardo says Joel, you're a La Volpe hater. And then Disco says Joel is a Televisa fanboy. And
Oh, damn.
and Disco says Joel lost points when he admitted he wanted Piojo back.
Joel, man, they're doing it on YouTube and not over here, man.
I know. I have to
Everyone-
go check.
We got keyboard warriors tonight. We also have Yums hopping in on the podcast. Welcome back. Feel free to give us your thoughts on the match. But yeah, 4-0 against Honduras. All aboard the Lambert Jimmy.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, am I on here? Was there a game today?
You missed it, dude.
Yeah, apparently I did. I'm fucking drunk as fuck on 2 Xanax bars.
Oh boy.
And I'm here in Waterfront and Lake and Corona. You know they make man-made lakes? They exist. Well, anyways, so we beat Corona. We beat fucking Corona. We beat Honduras 4-0. Is that something to be proud of?
Hey man, right now we'll take anything.
No. It's not about taking anything. It's not a slump buster. This is like, hey, dude, I haven't fucked some bitch in 10 years. I'm gonna go to a bar and bang the fattest bitch at fucking 1:30 p.m. and I'm gonna be proud of myself. No, motherfucker. You're gonna wake up at 6 p.m. You're gonna go put your pants on and you're gonna say, God damn, what the fuck did I just do? So there's nothing to take pride of in here. It's fucking Honduras, bro. How many people live in Honduras? What, 5 mil?
The breaking of the slump. Because
it's
not
important
just
to get
win.
your confidence back up, man.
No, there's no confidence, bro. We've been doing this we've been doing this fucking song and dance for fucking 40, 50 years already. And the only way we're gonna get fucking past this fucking point, whatever the fuck this is to fucking boycott these motherfuckers. Don't go to the games, don't buy the fucking jerseys, don't fucking support these motherfuckers in any way, shape, or form. Why? Because the only fucking thing that they worry about is fucking money. That's it. You got all these fucking wetbacks, fucking north of fucking Tijuana and Tamaulipas and fucking Arizona or whatever. And the only fucking connection that they have to Mexico is the fucking national team. And look, it worked for fucking 15 years. Some improvements came in, but we're at a fucking point where if we want to mature as a national fucking team, we can't depend on the money from the United States coming into fucking to the federation. It's poisoning the fucking well at this point.
Yeah, look, man. NRG
yes or no?
Stadium, it was probably close to sold out. I think there was over 60,000 people in attendance. So, yeah.
I can guarantee you,
There's your
80%
boycott.
of those motherfuckers, mira, te aseguro que 80% de esos cabrones no saben hablar español. 100%, mira, te lo prometo, mijo. No saben, esos cabrones no saben hablar una puta palabra bien español, no saben hablar. So that's no, bro. It's a double-edged sword, bro. We gotta cut that shit off. Mexico needs to be back to get to a fucking point where it's like 2006, 2000, where fucking playing in Mexico City was a fucking advantage. Where you know what? The money's already at the fucking federation. The money's already fucking there. We need to fucking boycott them, and we need to fucking make it seem like, hey, you know what, dude? If you motherfuckers want to get to the fucking next level, make the fucking players disciplined. You're still fucking disciplined through whatever fucking ways that you need to. If you need to sweet talk to them, sweet talk to them. If you need to beat these motherfuckers into submission, beat them into some fucking submission. But you need to get this shit fucking going, dude. Beating fucking Honduras, I do not give a flying fuck. It's Honduras, bro.
But we
It's
scored
like, dude,
4
you know what?
goals. But we scored 4
I
goals.
don't even fucking care, bro. It's like me. It's like I caught some bitch from like a year ago, and I fucking invite her out to dinner, and I make her feel really bad about herself because I was feeling bad about myself. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
El
It's
tóxico.
like, yes. You know what, dude? I feel really shitty about myself today. So I'm gonna call this fucking dumb bitch from about a year ago. I'm gonna invite her a couple of drinks. I'm gonna get a couple of gin and tonics in my fucking system. And you know what? Hey, you know what, bitch? You look fucking horrible. Why did you show up? I'm gonna put 4 goals in the back of the fucking net. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna forget about tonight. That's all that shit. That's all that shit was, man. Like the national fucking team needs to get his fucking shit together. The fucking guys are like I said, us as fucking fans. Fucking dude from San Jose. Fucking from where you from, Playboy?
Huh?
Where you from? You? Where
Me?
you from?
I'm from the Bay
Yes.
Area.
Yeah, just from the Bay, right? So it's like you were talking a couple days ago about like when the A's fucking did a boycott.
Mm-hmm. Reverse boycott.
Yes, it's a reverse boycott. But you guys did a boycott first, right?
I
Why?
mean, they've been boycotting the team for a couple
No,
seasons now because
But
they.
no, I understand that.
Yeah,
But
it's like we stopped going to games because the product was shit.
yes, but at what point did the fucking company take notice?
They still haven't taken notice. It's terrible.
No, I'm sure they have. Like I'm sure they've gone to a point where you know what, dude, you know what? These motherfuckers ain't coming in and they're not giving it. The team is in the fucking red.
They're moving the
Mex-
team to another city. That was their notice.
It's not the same comparison because with Mexico, they are a cash cow. They are the they're the most.
Bro, it's one of the most fucking profitable teams in the world.
Yeah, exactly. And the A's are not. They're like Moneyball. They're like
No, but it's fucking not that, dude.
they're a farmer league team, so it's not the same comparison, dude. It's not like everybody had this like. It's not like they were a cash cow. They're not like the Yankees, dude. If it was like the Yankees,
Bro, Mexico's not like Brazil.
yeah,
We're not. We're fucking. You know who we are? We're the fucking Denver Nuggets for the last fucking 40 years until this fucking year. For fucking 40 years, the Denver Nuggets are always a player. They're always a dark horse. You know what? They got a couple of good players here and there, but they never got their shit together. That's as a national team, that's exactly who we are. We are the Denver Nuggets. We're the Milwaukee Bucks. Until we get like our shit fucking together, dude, we're not gonna win the fucking World Cup. And if you're watching fucking like international soccer, the only fucking reason you're watching is as us as Hispanics to win a Copa America or to win a fucking World Cup. That's it. Bro, I don't give a fuck if fucking if fucking Mexico beats El Salvador by fucking 5-0. It doesn't fuck. Why?
it should be expected.
It should be expected, bro.
But
It's like that's like
our expectations have gotten so low in the last couple of years, especially
bro,
after.
no. They're
No,
not
but it's
low,
like
dude.
this.
No.
You have to understand the
When
morale.
Lavolpe came in,
You have to understand the
Playboy.
morale of the team right now, dude. It's like the
Playboy,
confidence
you
is
have
so
a really
bad.
good voice. You have a really nice voice. I always like your voice. Listen, hear me out, bro. When La Volpe came in 2006, fucking beating fucking Honduras because they did that Aztecaso thing
Oh,
was
two.
a big ass fucking deal.
He
Bro,
came in on two.
It's always been a fucking deal, dude. Like fucking it doesn't fucking matter, dude. Honduras was always fucking Honduras, dude. We haven't evolved in almost 20 years as a fucking team. We haven't. So
No,
we look,
not evolved. Yeah, you're right on that part. But also not regressed. I
we're in
think
the
they've
same,
stayed,
no, we're in the same spot, bro.
which is good. 15th, 16th in the world
That's not
out
good,
of over
dude.
200
No, fuck, no, it's not,
out of
bro.
200
Bro,
teams.
it's not good, dude. We have a fucking
Oh,
country.
come on, dude.
Well, look, dude, we have a country with 110
Well, the top
million
10 don't
people in it.
count.
No, we have a country with 110 million people in it. You're telling me we can't put fucking 18 guys in the top fucking 100 in the world?
What about India? What about China, bro? They got 1 billion people.
They don't play soccer. They play fucking, what is that? Fake baseball. What
DDR.
is it?
They
Fucking
fake
cricket?
baseball.
Was it cricket?
Cricket, yeah.
Cricket.
Yeah. They play fake. They play
I think-
cricket, bro.
I
I
could
think.
play
All right.
cricket.
Powers.
So I think this is the issue. Is I think we think of ourselves more than we actually are. Mexico has Look, Mexico has
Look, I don't
never
think-
Mexico has never proven that they are a world class like soccer nation, right? What was our best? Our best finish was like 8. That's it, bro. Twice.
Yes.
We've never had any evidence of us being better than that. It's always
And
been
who's that?
huh?
Exactly.
And
Look,
also-
all of us. Look,
So
But
why-
also, Mexico's pretty recent.
Listen to me.
Where
listen
do
to
we
me.
get the arrogance to
Everyone-
say that?
Playboy, listen to me.
Where's
Everyone
the,
listening to
Young's
right
got
now?
it from a couple
Everybody
bottles.
listening right now is born in the USA. All of us motherfuckers listening to this fucking
Yeah.
shit right now are American born.
No, we
are
got
the
a few.
we're the fucking Denver Nuggets, bro. That's who the fuck we are, dude. You can have a fucking great coach.
No
You
te
can have a great
enojes,
coach.
Youngs.
You can have a. I'm not upset, bro.
I'm just saying,
not,
dude.
sorry.
It's like, look, we have to be realistic and say, look, we're not like what's the word? A contender to win the World Cup. It's gonna like look at England, bro. The sport was invented there, and they haven't won it since
Bro.
'66.
Bro,
Yeah, no,
they're a
so,
bunch
also
of
Max is
bro.
pretty. It's
They're
pretty.
a bunch of pasty white boys. Who the fuck's afraid of England?
Hey, but
I'm just
but
saying.
see, Max. But also keep in mind, Max league, their soccer league, didn't turn professional until like the '60s, right? So it's
It's
been
been
taking them a
60
while to
years,
catch up.
Playboy. It's been
Yeah,
60
but
years.
you have these top 10 countries with, you know,
Bro,
they were able to do
Tesla was
more.
invented. Fucking Tesla came up as a company in 2005 or no 2003. They're fucking sending fucking rockets to the moon. You're fucking telling me since we've only been professional for 60 years.
Yeah, but
That
see, but were there? How many other companies were doing that? So let's say
none.
there was
No, I
already
mean that's
Just
valid.
NASA, that's
exactly,
it.
Look at
exactly. But
MLS.
if there was
MLS been around
20
since the
companies,
'90s, and the U.S. has us under leash right now.
yeah, but see, you're just seeing it as of U.S. soccer as MLS. U.S. had a league before MLS. They had the NASL where they had Pele. Is there a duck?
Well, that was
No,
legit professionalism.
I have a duck around me. I'm sorry, sir. I'm in nature right now. I'm drunk.
Sell me car insurance.
Hey,
Hey,
young.
I'm sorry, dude.
Affleck.
I have a duck near me. I've had 5 drinks in me and 2
No.
Xanax bars. I'm barely fucking
This
I'm gonna
guy's
comer,
sentient.
güey.
this guy went to the zoo and just popped some pills and said, "Fuck it,
It's
man.
not a duck. It's
I'm
un
one with
ganso. He's
nature."
waiting for the X videos to come on.
Hey, young, just a perfect time
Donkey,
to hit Ron
campeón.
up, man. You, you need to hit up Ron so you can go find some strange with you, man.
Yeah,
Nah, dude, none of that, dude. I'm still grieving over my girlfriend that died. So, fucking
sorry about that.
yes, sir. No
But-
worries.
But
Anyways,
you know,
man.
wait, let me just finish this whole thing with US because people make it seem like they just started playing with MLS, but they were playing since before. And then just keep in mind because they have the whole college system. Soccer was always being played at the collegiate level, universities and all that, which
That
is
is
like
true.
just see in the country how many there are. So they were always very active and always had all this infrastructure. So, you know, but young, Tesla wasn't competing with like 20 other companies with 60 years of experience over them. That's the difference, I think.
Bro,
With,
Tesla came in 2005.
yeah, but they have
No, not even fucking that.
competition.
They have SpaceX now. They're fucking literally.
I know,
sending
but
fucking-
they didn't
man,
have
let's get back on
competition.
subject. What you guys talking
No,
about?
we're on the
Yeah.
subject. No. It's not that. We're on the subject. Fucking soccer's not that fucking complicated as a fucking spaceship, dude. We're fucking. You're not sending a fucking spaceship into the goddamn moon. So, what I'm fucking saying, all of this shit has been a cultural fucking problem for a very fucking long time, dude.
If anything, it's easier to send a spaceship to the moon than a country winning a World Cup that never has.
Are you fucking serious? All right, man.
Yeah, because you have the money, you put a rocket together, dude.
Since when? In the
You
last
know-
5 years? In the last 5 years?
Since
Maybe.
before,
Yes.
I mean, to send
How many
satellites
people
all
are
the
able
time.
to do that? 5.
What countries with
Elon
money?
Musk, Bezos, and that's it. Bro, England. England's been a fucking world power for fucking 500 years. They still don't have fucking satellite power. They're incapable of sending a
used to do it.
satellite into space. Yeah, fucking England, bro. The Brits. They invented fucking soccer. They don't have the capability of sending satellites into fucking orbit. So you're fucking telling me that a bunch of fucking wetbacks and fucking, well, they're not wetbacks because they're in Mexico, but a bunch of fucking Mexicans, they can't fucking make the fucking top 8?
Easier
They
said than
will
done, my
eventually.
friend. Morocco got into the top 4, and we're still trying to figure
Yeah.
that.
These motherfuckers eat with their hands.
South Korea, Turkey, couple teams every now and then. But I think for Mexico to be more consistent.
Bro,
Mm.
Mexico, fucking, Mexico's in the what, top 10 economies in the world?
I don't know, dude. What
Yeah,
you
they are.
talking
They're
about?
literally in the top 10.
We have Rafael de Leon. Mexico is a consistent top 20 team.
Yes.
That has only been a thing since 1990. Mexico was widely
Yeah.
inconsistent
I
as a
just fact
team
checked you.
until
England
the 90s.
actually has 7 satellites in space, and Mexico's ranked number 76 in the economy.
England has not ever.
Bro, just Google
England
it,
has
bro.
never.
Estás borracho,
We need
ya
to
estás pedo,
silence
no
Young.
manches.
No.
Sí, está
England
pedo,
has
ya.
never
Silence.
sent the fucking. Play, boy. Look, no offense. England has never sent a satellite into space. It has not happened. They have
They-
satellites up
they
there
have the
because
BBC,
American
Youngs.
because it
They need-
no yes
They need a
American
satellite to
companies sent them up there. Yes,
Bro,
because American companies sent them
this
up
is
there, bro.
this is a football podcast. Why are we talking about satellites?
No, because I'm telling you, I'm trying to compare how something as complicated as sending a satellite into space. And we can't fucking put it fucking 11 guys together on the field.
You can put a man
11
on the
dudes.
moon, but you can't get Mexico to get a top 8
Even-
finish.
Thank
Even
you,
his
sir.
duck is talking shit.
Yes, the duck's upset. I
He's
gotta
like,
go,
don't-
guys.
All right,
I'm gonna
bro.
go for a walk. I feel like shit.
All
I
right,
hope
bro.
you guys fucking do well. Have a beautiful Sunday. This is Mr. Young
Thank
fucking
you.
checking the fuck out. Goodbye, guys.
That part of the podcast was sponsored by Aflac. Thanks for joining
And
us. yeah.
Affleck and SpaceX.
And some Xanax.
No. That part of the podcast was sponsored by Hydromax 3000, dude. Do not forget about that shit. I gotta go.
Oh man, that's great. Oh, that's a secretary right now. What's going on, bro?
Man, I'm trying to.
Bro,
I can't even find the.
y'all need to get your shit
What are you
together.
from there, man?
All right, real quick, Rafael De Leon, thanks for hopping on the YouTube chat. He also said Brazil has a relatively young professional league, but its state championships are really old, and Argentina has a 120-year-old league. And Disco Fever said Televisa is calling Joel again. Oh man, that's great.
Damn, no. No, sir. Where were we though, man?
Where were we, man? we got to
We're
satellites and I
talking
got
about
lost.
The
dog.
consistency, the one you just said since 1990. Yeah, kind of 86, and then Mexico banned from 90, and then from 94, they made all the World Cups, and they pretty much up until the last one have always placed between 13 and 16, and so that's pretty close to top 10, and it's I guess that's the frustration not being able to crack
Well,
into that.
Mexico's golden era was like 94 to 2018. If you notice all the youth tournaments, all like the other tournaments that have been won, the good showings of the World Cups, and then like from 2018 till now, Mexico's been pretty like in the gray zone. But if you
Yeah.
think about it, it's like in the gray zone that's always that it was in before 1994.
I would say the golden for the senior team was like 93. That's when they played Copa America. They make the final.
No, but that's 1 year. But like even if you
No,
go
no,
back
no, I'm
93,
just
like
saying.
93 to 2018, because you also had like the Olympic gold
No,
on like
I know, but I'm
everything builds on top of each other.
I know, but I'm separating youth from senior team because the senior team, that's when they reach the max. So I would go 93 to 99 because 99 they win the Confederaciones.
Yeah.
And and then the youth team, that's in 05 when they win the under 17, and then in 2011 they win the Olympic gold. But it's like at this point the youth team is being more successful, and then I think that's where like the media would always, pump sunshine up her ass and make it seem like, oh yeah, because there's all these youth and the senior team is going to be better now. But you could see it across, any selection. You could see like the amount of youth that make it to the senior team from juveniles. It always ends up being like 3 players or 2 out of like the 30 or so you start with.
We have some other comments. Tom says, no se dejen de creer, son los mismos pechos fríos.
Copa America, we'll see Copa America.
I think this was just in regards to today's game against Honduras, which, it is funny
Wait,
that...
is Honduras pecho frío or is Mex
No,
pecho
no,
frío?
like the players from Mexico. Yeah.
Ah, damn.
Yeah. I mean,
I agree.
this is the same, like nothing changed, bro. These are the same players that took the field against USA. It's just a different coach.
I think they got the go ahead, like they got the thumbs up and be like, all right, you can start playing now. You can see, I'm going to the U.S. game, dude. Dude, they look like tired.
Yeah, they just
They're
look.
playing that.
They got outplayed. They got outplayed yet on that game. Rafael de Leon says, even then, a one-off deep run isn't going to turn a team into power. Look at Turkey and South Korea. And then
Yeah.
Partidos Completos MX says, South Korea third place doesn't count, but it's the only way I see Mexico getting third.
By fix and corruption, because that's how South Korea got
Hey,
that far.
your best chances of winning or having a deep run is when you're host.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but South Korea,
and
man,
or
that's
a seeded
straight
team.
up corruption, man. Like you go watch the highlights
Oh,
for
in
that game.
in
against
02?
Italy. Italy should have
Wait.
had some like penalties against, and then South Korea gets like a penalty last minute. Like it was like very. Oh, and then the ref that officiated that match later, like a year or two later, he gets suspended for match fixing. He was from
The
Ecuador, I believe.
the Korea Portugal game.
Yeah, so that
And
there was
that
a
was
lot of corrupt officials.
that was the golden generation Portugal team. Ouch, what a way to go, man. To end up losing to the US as well.
Yep. Figo was part of that. Yeah. Hey, but coming back to Earth and to this match and to this team, look, the stage is set for Jimmy to win this Gold Cup convincingly and comfortably, and to him get the reins, get the keys of this Lambo, and just take it for the next 3 years, man. I don't see why you would try to bring in someone at this point. There's no point. It's just let him cook, man. Let Jimmy cook.
You're not wrong about it, Jaime. It's just the problem is the people in charge, man. When it comes to that, if Jimmy doesn't come off as somebody who's marketable and can help make the money as well,
I don't know though, because like it was Tata marketable. Is Coca marketable? I agree. Like the Federativos, like yes, they have a lot of influence and not in the best ways. But I don't think on his end. I think the marketing comes down more to the players. You know, unless you have a guy like Guardiola, Mourinho, and Ancelotti, like a big fish like that, most coaches aren't really marketable either.
And like, so what are you supposed to do alternatively? Like, you bring in somebody like Ambris or Almada or a coach that is like, I don't guess more appropriate for this squad, and then what happens? It's a completely different vibe. The players aren't bought in, and then we go through this. It's more of a risk to replace Jimmy than it is to like just keep him. That's the way I see it. If they continue to play well and win the Gold Cup, like why would you change it at that point? Why fix something that's not broken?
you're not wrong. I think you just never know with these guys in charge, man.
Yeah.
Look at the way it's always been. Like when they fired Chepo, who'd they go with? Tena, right? I think
That was interim.
Yeah, right. He was interim, but still.
And Buse, they were both
And
interim.
then Vuce could have done what Piojo did.
Yeah.
Hell, Chepo could have done what Piojo. Although actually Chepo lost the locker room, but any of those guys could have done what Piojo did, right? But these guys wanted their guy in there, and that's what it comes down to. It's not that. I think more and more I'm rooting for Jimmy, right? I want him to do well. I want him to show that he has abilities, right?
Yeah, I have a sound clip from the game. It's probably the highlight of the moment of the game. Let's see if I can get the. Where is it? Oh, it's right here.
Hyman, you hate to be there, man.
That was the hardest thing to
Dude,
watch,
that
bro.
sucked. I know she kept turning back,
Yeah.
and they were just looking at her like, "Yeah, we're not. You're on your own."
That was crap.
Yeah, that was.
Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that again, Hyman.
I'm surprised somebody screen recorded that shit, man.
Yeah, but with that Jimmy thing, man, the problem is that the system's broken. It's like with a previous coach that was there, you know, someone put him in, and then they said this guy's not working. Now I'm gonna put someone in, and if this guy doesn't work, then another group, Pachuca, they'll probably try to put their guy in. And like you were saying, Jaime, they need to do like Germany did with Joachim Lowe.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, he was there for what, like 10, 15 years, but from day one, they said this guy's gonna be here for at least the next two World Cup cycles. But it's because it's also separated. Like if you look in Spain, the league is always beefing with the federation, like two complete separate things, where they're each looking out for their best interest. And over here, it's the total opposite. The league and the federation are basically the same people.
Yeah.
There's like that division is not there. That's why you'll never have a coach last two World Cup cycles, because one group's in power. Once that coach starts doing bad, then they start doing their political calls. Back my guy up, back my guy up, and then I'll take care of you with some transfers. The system's just broken. They completely need to divide the federation and the league, but they never will.
I agree. Real quick, guys. I'm just gonna get my thoughts. I'm gonna hop off. I gotta get my sleep. I'm getting old. It's been entertaining tonight. I hear some interesting calls. We got some Xanax conspiracy theories, and it sounds like some interesting fans that went to the game there. But I'm not sure who made that last comment right now. But to be honest, I agree. I think this is just kind of another. Nothing's changed. There's no change in the barometer of Mexico being better in the long run for this. This is don't get me wrong. I do think that they're moving in the right direction with this hire. I don't know if it's temporary hire, but I would like to see an actual Mexican coach the team, right? However, Mexico is a slave to it's like it's a brand, the national team. It's a capitalist brand, right? You play your games in Houston, LA, all these cities in the US because you sell out and you sell tickets. That's your source of income. They don't care about winning the World Cup. There's no urgency. If there was an actual urgency to get better, to do something, there'd be a full commitment to a coach to give them a full commitment to un proceso formal, right? Like all the way from the ground up, from the youth level, revamping Liga MX. But those are two separate entities. They don't give a shit. They're just interested in making money. As long as they can market their players to pochos, people don't, in the US, you can sell them a hot Cheeto bag with a Mexico player on it. People are going to the game and watching the game. That's the bottom line. Until people maybe don't support the team or don't watch the game, then maybe, but that's not foreseeable. I don't know I didn't watch the game today. I don't know what the attendance was, but I don't foresee that being a a change. So with that, I hate to be negative. Like I said, go enjoy life, have a cannoli, drink some cappuccino. Um, just watch the game, enjoy the game. But I would say keep that in mind. Ain't shit gonna change.
For sure, Tom. Thanks for hopping on. Yeah, but the attendance was pretty healthy today. Again, a lot of it had to do with the pre-sale for this particular match. Very curious to see how attendance will continue in the Gold Cup for Mexico. They're going to be playing in, I believe, Glendale, Arizona, and then Levi's to finish the group stage. And, they're playing against Haiti and Qatar, right? So Honduras was probably their toughest match. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I can see this Lambo Jimmy going all the way to the final. I really don't see any other opposition out there that could give us an issue. At least not yet.
Jamaica, man.
Jamaica will probably be our
I think that's the finals right there.
Yeah.
There's only two teams that have their A roster.
yeah. I mean, you saw what fucking Leon Bailey did. Jesus Christ, man, that guy's a nightmare. Yeah, great player.
No, but yeah, I was agreeing with Tom. I don't think anything's gonna change. I think it's gonna be the same thing, same thing. Because like someone said, it's like one of the most profitable national teams in the world. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. I think many of us are fans, and we get lost in the romantic idea that one day we can be World Cup champions. While with the federation, it's like as long as we keep doing good enough, and all the money keeps coming in, that's all that really matters. Like they probably even think it's probably like stupid or even outlandish to think of winning the World Cup because the product of they see players in front of them and what they see in Europe and things like that. I think as long as the cow keeps milking, they're happy. That's why they fired Coca. And I think that's what the fans wanted. That's why you saw the
Yep.
fans today. Like the fans were on the team. They were doing on the ole,
Yep.
like in the first 10 minutes. And I think
Completely
that's all
different
they
vibe.
wanted. Yeah, they won like a Mexican coach. They didn't want an Argentino. They wanted un Mexicano, and the team felt looser. The fans were like happy, and boom, like that's all they wanted. You saw Santi. Henry went out, casi nada, and Santi comes in, and the whole stadium's erupting over him. They just want a Mexican coach, and they want Santi starting.
Yeah. Again, it was pretty evident that the team just looked a lot different today. It was a completely different vibe.
Yeah, but like someone said, it's those same pechos frios. It's these same players, man. That's the thing about the players. Once somebody gets on Jimmy gets on their bad side or whatever, they're gonna start sucking again, get him fired, and then start being good once the new guy comes in. It reminds me a lot of Chivas. It's like
Yeah.
it's literally the same Chivas players for like the last 3 something years, and how crazy with one coach they suck ass in their last place, and with the other coach they're like going towards the final.
Yeah. Yeah, it does remind me a lot of, Chivas. They got rid of was it Vucetic, and then they brought in it's the Dick Chain, and he got the team going well, and everybody's like, "Oh, here we go," and then it's just like first sign of struggle, the fans were like, "All right, fuck this guy," It's just like we're just too quick, man. We're too quick. I think that's why you need to make a statement like this and be like, "Hey, look, Jimmy's our guy for the next 2 World Cups." And that's it. No questions asked. Like, we're not going to change our opinion. And when you do that, man, it's like the fans and everybody else will follow suit. And that's what needs to happen right now.
I think they need to do that, but I don't think Jimmy's the right guy. I think it's Rafa. Then they get Rafa like 2 more years in Europe, and then make him that Mexico's Scaloni.
Hmm. For sure. Well, we're about an hour and some change in. Let me check the YouTube comments real quick. But yeah, as far as today's match, 4-0 victory over Honduras. 2 goals by Luis Romo. And Mexico off to a much better start from last week for sure. As far as the states, they struggled today or yesterday against Jamaica. They took them to the 88th minute to equalize the match. So we might not even see US in the final. We'll see how it goes for them. Partidos Completo says Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. So he's all aboard.
Real quick, I don't know if you guys commented on it. You guys see that clip on the USA game during their national anthem that basically no player was singing it? Like I thought that was like hilarious because they're all such like, oh, we're stealing your players, we're stealing Sendejas from you, we're bringing this guy over from Europe, switching nationalities, and then that's what's gonna cost you like in those big tournaments like the World Cup. That pride for the nation's not there. That these guys can't even take like 20 minutes to memorize the national anthem.
I think it's a culture thing. My parents were we had a discussion during the match, and it was just like, hey, like we were never taught the national anthem like in school. At least I wasn't. We did the Pledge of
They took it
Allegiance.
off. They took that off too.
And in Mexico, they did that shit like they said like every Monday. And like I know in Mexico, like they do like during school, like everybody did it, So it's like it's definitely a culture thing. Because here, I don't know, dude. I didn't know the national anthem when I was a kid. Like I heard it a lot of times, but I didn't know like the lyrics. We were never taught that, so I don't know. It's a little bit different. But yeah, I'll let you guys have your closing thoughts. We can call it a night tonight. I think.
Let me go first because I might not make it all the way.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going off in the comment about Federativos that they don't care about winning the World Cup. I know it seems that way, because the way a lot of decisions are made, but I do feel that they've done a lot to get to that point, and it's like Habibi said earlier, what affects the national team is that it's tied to the league, and so that's always been a thing where you've had like the FMF's been divided. So it used to be Televisa, and then it became Televisa versus TV Azteca. Then they buried the hatchet, but now you have other groups that have come in, and so I mean everyone's vying for power, and I do feel that that's that's hindered Mexico a bit. Um, but if you see the progress that the team has made, I would say going back to like '86, and that they've been able to stay consistent for so long. I mean, that to me, that's not easy to do. And and then at the youth level to become one of the stronger teams, because at youth level, pretty much across the board, Mex is one of the favorites now. Them winning it is like it will be no surprise. Um, and that's also like testament to how they've been working to improve. And the other thing is 3 World Cups, dude. 3 World Cups like in our lifetime. A lot of us, or that are not that far off from each other. 70, 86, and now 2020. Which one is it? 24. So I mean, wait,
26.
26, and I'm like yums now. Yeah, but I mean, that's dude. Come on, they've been working doing a lot of this stuff. I think what's missing obviously is just being able to produce more players. Um, and I think that's been lacking for a long time. That's where I was trying to get at before Mr. Yums came in with his talk. When I was saying that, like if you look at the history of Mexican football, where the league became professional, it wasn't until the '60s, and even then, at that point, it wasn't as popular as the sport. Wasn't as popular as it is now. Um, in Mexico, you still had other sports, baseball, and you have boxing and wrestling. Wrestling was huge in Mex. They were doing Avenger Endgame movies way before Avengers, man, with all the wrestlers. Anyways, so I mean, it's not that long, dude. It's not that long since Mex has been, trying to etch themselves into one of these top teams. And I think that from when they got started up until like the '70s, they sort of missed that whole grassroots that you see with other countries, where like you see in England and some of these countries in Italy and Argentina, where small towns have teams, and how close the community are to those small teams, and how tight they are to them. And you just didn't get that in Mex, because once it became professional, and then it was like televised, and then it just went like a whole other way compared to like these countries. And so then we started seeing from early on teams where, I mean, people from other states weren't like supporting their local club, they were supporting one of the bigger teams. And that's kind of like, you miss out in having a more of a presence. You just don't see it. Even up until recently, like it wasn't that long ago that Liga MX started expanding and putting teams in other markets, going all the way to Cancun and whatnot,
Yeah, but I still
Tijuana.
think that's a valid argument. I mean, Croatia's league's been around since like 1992.
Yeah, but Croatia's a different country, and that's the thing we always talk about. You can't be comparing the countries. So with Mex, you're talking about, it's they try to spread out like the whole sport. Croatia, you could probably cross the country in 3 hours. And that's probably like their main sport that everyone plays. And then it's like small enough where the government probably built fields all over the place. Mex never really did that. They didn't really build like fields where kids can just go and play for free. Like when I used to go to Mex a lot. You had to pay like to go into the like the food rapido, and you had to pay to go and use it for like, I guess depends how much you paid.
We would just go out in the neighborhood in Juarez when I'd go visit, and
What
play
happened?
on the rocks, man.
Oh, you played on the rocks.
Yeah, we didn't care. It was all the neighborhood kids would bust out the soccer ball, and it's all
And then
it's
just
all
play.
desert over there, and you just play on the desert landscape, man.
Yeah, and then think about it, like for all the schools, like even Mex didn't have that, where at least the schools will have teams, and then those teams would be like, like if you played high school and then college, you know, you could get scouted, but that just doesn't even exist over there.
For sure. Who else got some closing thoughts for tonight?
Well, what I got for you, Jaime, is I think because I'm so tired of the coaching carousel, and I know I have a favorite guy that I'd prefer coaching the national team, and that should have started that I thought should have started earlier. I'm tired of the coaching carousel, so I want Jimmy to do well, and hopefully they let him stay on board and give him a shot. Let him see what he can do, and hopefully it turns out well, and they extend him and let him coach into the next cycle, and
Yeah.
see if we finally get that long term project that I think a lot of people have been looking for, to see if that is an effective way for our national team to progress, right? So no, I'm just wishing the guy well, and hopefully that something like that turns out. Enough with the coaching carousel.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of fans and a lot of press are saying, "Hey, look, man, we just want some continuity. We need some assurance. Let him cook." Al Pastor, what you got for me? Thanks for hopping on tonight.
No, thank you guys. Honestly, I'm so glad there's a Mexican on the bench. Like Nacho Ambriz, he had a video where he's talking about like his national team career changed for the better when one of his coaches reminded him that they are responsible like for the joys and the sadness of the people, the highs and the lows. And once they started realizing that that result mattered to the fans in ways that didn't even matter to the players from an emotional perspective, they started taking it more serious, and that's where they became like one with the jersey. And that's something that a foreign coach can't give you, man. A foreign coach is there, like to teach you things that different ways of doing things, different methods.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to that nitty gritty game, like you're losing to the US 1-0 in the halftime, you don't talk tactics, you talk about some pride, you talk about that emotional shit. Somebody that feels that loss and also can enjoy those wins in the way a foreign coach can't. So whether it's Jimmy, whether it's Breeze, whether Rafa Marquez, they just need to put a Mexican on there and just give him a legit chance for like 4 to 8 years. Easily, like minimum, not 2, not 3. Give him at least 4. And hopefully it's Mexican. And the numbers show it. Every person that's won a World Cup, every person that's been successful has been a coach of their country. So stop exploring. Stop trying to,
Yeah. Reinvent the wheel.
fake, yeah, reinvent the wheel. If history has shown you that the coach has to be from the country he's coaching, then stick to it. And if you don't have enough options, then that means you're not doing enough to create enough coaches. So start finding a way to promote more Mexican coaches and send them abroad. Like the guy from Atlas, he was like winning. He won like 5 leagues in Malaysia or something. It might sound stupid, like what's Malaysia? Who cares about that league? But at least like create the coaches and send them abroad, and maybe one of them will do well, and you can bring them back. So they got to focus on that too. But I'm just glad there's a Mexican on the bench.
And singing the national anthem.
And singing the national anthem.
You haven't seen that in a long time. Who was our last Mexican coach?
Was it Piojo?
Yeah, how long was that? How long was that? That was a long time ago. So
It was.
yeah, it's been a while. It's nice to have one of our own coaching the national team, a young coach who, again, I understand doesn't have the traditional pedigree to be given a spot like this, an opportunity like this. But look, he's taking it. He's running with it. The team's gelling. The chemistry's there. The team's playing better. Just fucking ride it for the next 30 days. See if they win some silverware in the Gold Cup, and then from there, I would say let him finish their year. They have some friendlies scheduled in Europe, so we'll see how those go.
Jaime, question for you.
Yep,
If Jimmy fails to win the Gold Cup,
he's out.
would you? No, I'm saying, would you want him to stay?
No, he's out, dog. You have to win the Gold Cup.
But you're saying to let him cook and let him
cook,
become that good coach and give him that process, and you're chopping his nuts off.
Yeah, it is a controversial take, but it's like he has to win the Gold Cup, man. Like,
yeah, this is the situation you're looking at too.
Well,
like,
there you go,
Canada, if Canada and the U.S. had their A roster,
yeah, it's a different story.
And yeah, and it's his first tournament. He just arrived 4 days ago, and he loses. You can actually look to the side. But Mexico has their A roster. Jamaica has their A roster, and
Should
everyone
happen
else has
sometimes.
their B, C roster.
Joel,
Mexico could dominate and
so,
just
like,
miss.
I'm not even thinking about failure, dude. The way the team's playing, dude, and the opposition and looking at the schedule, how will this team lose, man? I don't see that happening.
Lesion here.
Like, these are his tune-up games. This week Honduras, that's his tune-up game. Qatar's going to be his tune-up game. Haiti's going to be his tune-up game.
Yeah,
so
dude.
Can't even use the excuse, I got there 4 days before.
I don't think Haiti's going to be a tune-up game.
No, it's not. They barely beat him 1-0.
You guys keep forgetting.
No, they barely beat him 1-0 with
these
penalty like a few years ago. But you're still going to get out the group
Yeah, they're
stage.
tough. They can
This is
be.
your
Yeah, they will.
You're not going to get out of you're not being eliminated from the group stage. You have 3 games to get your plan rolling, and you know you're going to make it out the group stage. There's no reason for you not to be in semis or the final. With the A roster he has. He has an A roster.
Yeah,
Who's he missing?
but
Dude, look,
from 2 other guys?
From what I've seen, right, from all the clips that Mi Selección has been uploading to YouTube, that speech he had, it is a very clear that they were all reprimanded pretty bad. They got rid of Coca, right? But I know that a lot of this also fell on the players, and they were given, like, a fair warning. And I think with Jimmy coming in and some of the players already liking him and gelling, like, this team's locked in, bro. From literally minute 1, they were already up 1-0. So this Mexico team's gonna go to the final and they're gonna win. Like, that's gonna happen. I'm letting you know that right now, dude. Like, especially after seeing, like, all the opposition that's out there, dude. It's fucking trash, bro. This is a tournament that Mexico will take home, and let them cook. I want to remind everybody that it's been 12 years since Mexico beat USA in the Gold Cup final at the Rose Bowl, down 2-0, and came back and scored 4. And Gio scoring one of the best goals I've seen, honestly. That shit was amazing. Joel, you were there.
I was at the game. Yes, sir. I was.
Yeah.
I was actually covering. I was covering the I forgot for who, but they don't let you, like, yell and stuff at the press box. And when it's 2-0, it was dead silent, dude. You could hear a pin drop. And there was a few U.S. journals that were giddy, but they were being respectful. It was pretty quiet. And who is it? Barrera, I think, scores.
Yeah.
To make it 2-1.
That was Barrera.
No, to make it 2-1. Oh, yeah, it would be the third goal. And then they're all yelling, and they're like, you see the staff that work there, like, calming people down to calm down. But the second half, dude, after every goal, dude, that place just kept getting crazy. It was like you were sitting with the fans. But
at the press
Gio's
box?
goal, yeah, dude, it got crazy. And then Gio's goal, dude, forget it, dude. People were jumping up and down.
Shit.
Dude, at that point, the staff were like, "All right, fuck it, dude. This guy."
Yeah, I meant to ask you, right? Because I did go to the press box the last game over here at Levi's against Colombia, and Mexico, very similar situation. They actually scored like what 2 goals in the first half, and like people like yell, bro, and then
Yeah, you're not supposed
the
to.
staff was like, hey, shh, like you're not supposed to
Well,
do that.
yeah, depending the stadium,
Uh huh.
some at the press box, right on the side, you could see like the radio, like for radio or TV for the broadcasting.
Oh, is it
The
because of
booths.
that, or is it just because like
Yeah,
you're not
that's
supposed
part
to?
of it.
I thought it was just
No,
like you're supposed to stay professional and not and be
well, you are.
neutral, right?
Well, you are, but that's part of it too, because
Oh,
then I don't know how much of the sound barrier it is.
yeah,
Again, depending the stadium, you know, some of them are, the bigger the stadium, it's
yeah,
yeah. And then yeah, part of professional, because some people are working.
exactly, yeah,
They're writing notes and doing not, they're doing their stories already.
for sure. Well, I'll put a nightcap on this. Ricardo did mention something in the chat, very big in the very beginning. He said that big news is that Quiñones is going to America. We'll see if that comes through. Chivas already loaned out some of their best prospects with Campanillo and fucking Perez Buquet. Really sad about that. They're gonna get loaned out to Juarez. So we'll definitely try to record later this week with whatever happens in Liga MX, some transfers, some rumors. Then obviously the preview for the game against Haiti, which I believe will be on Thursday. So if you're a regular here, you know what to do. Follow us on the Twitter handle. Follow us on YouTube. And yeah, thank you all for hopping on tonight on this Sunday night. All aboard the Lamborghini. And yeah, be safe out there. Have a great week.